Who was your first hire?
Courtney was my first hire.
A lot of the people I've met in the event space, my wife being one of them, details are everything. Someone has to be, you can have a dreamer, a visionary, which is important too, but you need to have somebody that's nailing down the details and keeping everybody accountable. So knowing that she came from the event space, it seems like that was a smart move on your part, just from the little I know.
Yeah, 100%. It was, the organization, that being detail oriented was huge. And this, I would say, this is for anybody I've hired or in this business or in prior life. It was just, you get a sense, I think, when you sit down across from them, what you can really get a sense of what motivates them, what excites them, how genuine they are, what they care about. And so, you see somebody's resume, it might look good, but like she came to life sitting across from her. Like she had all the bona fides in terms of the qualifications and the degrees, but there's probably a lot of people out there who have those bona fides, but they're not necessarily a great fit from sort of that partnership mindset, cultural mindset. So yeah, she had all the nuts and bolts of how to do this job really, really well, and she has. But it was all the other intangible stuff that's, in my opinion, much harder to coach, teach, train on.
Do you remember a key moment when other than the body language and the energy, meeting her face to face, once she's on board, once things are moving, do you remember the moment where you're like, or it's solidified in your brain that this was the right person for the role you're trying to fill?
In the first month or so when we were officially open, we're running around, going crazy and trying to keep everything in order. And I think her ability to just take ownership of a few things early on, be like, no, you go do that, you handle that, I've got this. And there were a couple of examples of that where it's like, okay, you're out. At that point, I was doing all the sales, so I had to be out meeting potential customers and building relationships. And so she was really steering the ship back in the office and just taking on, for example, marketing, which is not my strong suit. And so she just took ownership of that by way of managing our vendors who we were working with, where to go, what to do, where to spend money, how to allocate all those things, where to market, things like that. She took ownership of that from day one and still owns it.